Good morning, children. Today I am going to teach you the topic Impact of Globalization in India from the lesson Globalization and the Indian Economy. As we have seen that with the globalization, people who are having knowledge, skill, education and wealth, they are making the best use of the new technology, and on the other hand, those are the small producers, manufacturers and workers are hard hit by this globalization. So the globalization has a mixed response for our economy, that is negative as well as positive. So here are the positive impact of the globalization. Well-off sections in the urban areas enjoy much higher standard of living, greater choice before the consumers who now enjoy improved quality and lower prices for the several products. Top Indian companies have invested in newer technology and production methods, raised their production standards and are benefited from the increased competition. There is increase in the employment, for example, in the cell phones, automobiles, electronics, soft drinks, fast foods or services such as banking in the urban areas. Some large Indian companies have emerged as multinational themselves. For example, Tata Motors that manufactures automobile, Infosys known for information technology, Ranbaxy known for medicines, Asian Paints known for paints, and Sundaram Fasteners for nuts and bolts. Now, there are new opportunities for the companies providing services, for example, information technology, but it has a negative impacts. Several industries, for example, toys, tires, plastics, dairy products, vegetable oils, batteries, capacitors have been hit hard to the competition. Several of the units have shut down, rendering many workers jobless. Workers' jobs are no longer secure as employers hire them flexibly. That means under the scheme of the flexibility, these multinational companies, what they do, they hire the workers when they are in much in demand of the production of the goods, and after that they are having no job. So jobs are insecure and they are not safe. But what is the last topic is here, the fair struggle for the globalization. As we have read already, that is an international organization, that is World Trade Organization, and the aim of it is to conduct open, free and non-discriminatory manner. But we have seen that many of the developed countries, they have retained unfairly trade barriers, but are asking to the developing countries not to give the concessions to their small manufacturers as well as the farmers. There is an example like in USA, where the contribution of agriculture is only 1% towards the GDP of the economy of that country, and the employment, the people are employed only 0.5%. But still in that country, in USA, the government is supporting to the farmers so that the production is there, that is at the low cost, and with the low cost what is there, they are able to sell the products, the surplus in the international market at the low cost, whereas the farmers from the developing countries, they are hard hit. So we cannot call it is a fair competition at the global level. Now what the government can do? First of all, the government in the countries, what they can check whether the labor laws are implemented properly or not, or workers are enjoying their rights, and the government can support to the local manufacturer, those are small producers, by giving them aid, and if it is necessary, can negotiate with the WTO for the fairer prices, and can support given to the local manufacturers. And at the last, we can say that the role of the people is also an important to raise their issue at the international level. So I think you would have understood the chapter taught by me. So thank you, stay blessed, God bless you.